Thank you so very much for being here, and it's nice to have you join us. Good morning and welcome. This is Enterprise Morning, reaching you from Enterprise Television. I am Henry Igwebike. Let's kickstart today with our newspapers, but just before doing that, and of course, crisscross into our main conversation, I will then join you to be part of what we do. Have a say in what we say. You can always find us when you reach us or visit us at enterprisetvnews.com. You may equally subscribe on all of our social media platforms at Enterprise TV7. Just before we get into some of the big stories we have from our newspapers, we have a breaking news, of course, of a mishap that just occurred at the Lakurawa Bridge, that is the Lagos-Ibadan Express Road. And of course, I have my reporter here, Eyo Asukwa, who was there to see things for himself, and maybe we would love to ask him how bad the situation is. Thank you so very much, Eyo, for being here.
Yeah, good morning.
Really do appreciate you.
Thank you so much.
Beautiful. So you were there when all that happened. I would love you to give us a first step information. What actually happened? How bad was the situation? Were there people, deceased people, at the time of the incident?
Yeah, it's actually so bad that speaking to some of the road safety and last mile officials that that at the scene, they said it involved about three truck trailers, one leading that resulted into fire, and the other one, the head of the other one just fell off the bridge into onto the water.
Okay.
Because as at the time I went there, they already evacuated some of the deceased to mortuary.
Now, how many of them here?
According to them, they because as at right now the actual number has not yet been ascertained.
Okay.
But they said about 8. Some said 6. Some said 8. Yes, But I met two corpses on ground.
Okay.
And the rest have been taken to the mortuary according to them. So I met 2 corpses on ground, and the gridlock was much.
Yeah, it was really much. Yeah.
Yes, and according to them, they said over speeding and then careless driving. Not the normal way, things they say when accident occur.
Yeah. So at what time did this happen?
Because
according to what?
According to what I heard them, they said it happened overnight.
Oh, okay.
Midnight, and till this morning. Because they,
that is the problem, because it's happening too many.
In fact, it's become a nightmare, and that bridge has become a nightmare. Not that the bridge is not smooth. The bridge is smooth, it's motorable.
Okay.
But the speed, because inward Ibadan,
Mowe
from Lagos. It is inward, inward, outward Lagos, inward Mowe Ibadan, Ogun State. The bridge is a little bit slopey.
Slopey, okay.
But not that, the slopey, but the trailers, when driving on this bridge, because it's slopey, they still come at that speed.
Oh, okay.
Yes, they come and still maintain that speed. Because they're, coming down the slope, you're supposed to, just slow down a little. And, according to one of the, an eyewitness, let me say so, because they stays around that area. They said that the truck broke down, and then there's another accident, and they were trying to evacuate that particular truck. When this one that the now pointed the one that fell into the lagoon.
The lagoon there.
Yeah, they now said that one refused. He refused to stop while they were waving him down. Refused to stop, and maybe by the time he got to the place, realized that too late, and then swapped, and then spilled the edge, just because that is the carriage.
The coach, just fell right there. So, do you think maybe applying a speed a controller, maybe at the entry and the exit of that bridge, might maybe ameliorate the issue of accidents on that road?
I think that would be better if they can, but just remember that it's going to cause a lot of gridlock. It's going to the gridlock will be so severe that even we that we said we need it will complain about it. Yes, because it's
every
going to
car that
every
would have to
yes,
slow
because
down,
that is just
and it
that is
will
the only
pile up.
way out, and this gridlock will get up to VI, all part of Lagos. Anything right now, as I'm talking to you now, everywhere in Lagos is on a standstill because of this incident. So I don't think even I believe that the engineers, the government, they've looked at it and they said, they don't. I don't. It's just for for us to continue to sensitize ourselves, the drivers, and then don't drink and drive.
Okay, yeah.
Don't drink and drive.
Exactly.
And most of the drivers, they believe that when they take something, their eyes will be
boosts
clear,
their
it boosts their
morale,
morale. And you can't cheat nature. Because the time will come that split, you just need, even we at the office here, there are some times that you just need some 30 minutes or 10 minutes for you to nap, and that is all your body needs. So you can't, by the time you start trying to cheat nature will, you won't, to get to a stage you won't be able to control anymore. And that is what is, what is happening. And then it's just for the drivers to, to be more conscious. This is because it's becoming too often. Aside this bridge that
the government should do at this point to maybe soften the nature or the spate of accidents on that particular road. Of course, people have said accidents don't just happen, they are caused. And I love to believe, like Ayo did say, if our drivers would apply caution, to their driving, and every other agency related to of course, traffic and all that are doing what they should do, I would love to believe all of this will definitely come to an end. So let's move straight to our newspapers. I'm very so honored to have with me, joining me via Zoom, Emeka Madunagu, journalist, public affairs analyst, to see through some of the things we have from our newspapers. Thank you so very much, Emeka, for hanging on.
Yeah, hello, good day. My pleasure.
Thank you so very much. So, Emeka, I'd love us to start with the Daily Trust newspaper. But just before we get into the Daily Trust newspaper, I'd love you to have your say on what our reporter did talk about, especially the gridlock in Lagos right now as a result of the mishap that happened, the accident that happened along the Kara Bridge. And what's your take on this? What do you think would be the best solution to stop this from happening? Because I love to believe if this was a more developed nation, they would have found a solution to it. What's your take?
Thank you. Well, I live on that axis, so I witness some of these things, from time to time. And it's sad that truck drivers continue to pose a nuisance, on that road. They know that the road, is undulating, that the terrain is undulating. It's hilly at some point, it's sloping at some point. And of course, they are supposed to, observe.
Confirms raid of Bielsa, forced God to hear from him to know really if he was part of all of the things that have happened. It's actually a very ugly testimonial, if we would love to hear from him. Naira as debt. And what question Nigerians are actually asking is, we do not yet see the dividends of this humongous, someone had called it dizzying in nature of borrowing that we have. Emeka, are you there? Of borrowing that we have. Emeka, are you there? Okay, so just before we get Emeka yet again, we have all the growing issues. Still from growing issues. Still from the Daily Trust newspaper. Bank credit to private sector drops by 6 trillion in 4 months. We talk about, remember the multiple taxation we have in Nigeria, further made worse. Remember the multiple taxation we have in Nigeria, further made worse with Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration. People have labeled administration as a tax collector-driven administration with no real reason to invest in the real economy of Nigeria. And remember, when entrepreneurs are not there to drive the economy of a country, then that country is definitely, sliding through the slippery slope to Armageddon, and lots of people would not actually be happy seeing that in Nigeria. It's actually very so sad. Other countries of the world, China for example, would not be China without entrepreneurs, seeing doing well as a result of their commercial banks giving them loans, giving them opportunities to invest in their businesses, in their small and medium-sized enterprises and all. But in Nigeria, the difference is not there. Nigerians can't even feel some of them. And that's what we have from the Daily Trust newspaper. We have other growing matters. Federal government withdraws pardon for Mariam Sanda and drug dealers, or other drug dealers. Very so interesting that we're having this. But of course, Nigerians have argued. Just before I get into having my say on this, I'd love to know if Emeka is here. Emeka, are you there? Okay, so we're still trying to reconnect back to Emeka. Federal government withdraws pardon for Mariam Sanda and drug dealers. Remember, so a couple of days back or weeks back, President Tinubu had pardoned over 173 Nigerians incarcerated in different correctional centers. Amongst them are drug dealers, amongst them are armed traffickers, amongst them are murderers. Right? Now, after that name was put together and it was signed by the council and equally President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, Nigerians actually came in their droves on different social media platforms to vent their anger and argued why President Bola Ahmed Tinubu would grant pardon or clemency to people that do not deserve such clemency. Amongst them is Mariam Sanda, a young lady who murdered the husband in cold blood. Right? So Nigerians wondered why that was even possible. Now, we later learned that most of the names that were granted clemency were people whose name, right, were filtered into the long list of 173 people that were granted pardon by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. So you can see how corruption, invades into the things that we do and further debases our system and the way we run the country. And lots of people have argued, is it that those who put together the names didn't know the historical nature or crimes of the people that were included in that list? It's a rhetorical question actually, because it's really not a good experience to have a president undertake or have a proclamation and having to take back his proclamation. I don't think it's a very good experience there, because in the sight of other world leaders, they would see our president as someone who is not concise, with whatever he wants to do, and especially his decision-making techniques and so many other things that they would not be happy for. So the federal government is going back on that list and saying that everyone on that list that has a drug crime related or other issues of interest would not be pardoned. But of course, I don't know how these people would feel right about now, knowing that 2 weeks back, they were told that they might, regain their freedom. And today, that freedom is being denied yet again. And that's why I think it's very important for those within the ears and the eyes of the president to ensure that they peruse through whatever it is they give to the president just before he signs that into execution, actually. I would love to know if Emeka is still there. Emeka, are you still there? Okay, so Emeka is not here. Let me just continue with this, especially what we have from the Daily Trust newspaper. We have other growing issues here. Alleged Christian genocide. U.S. lawmakers relying on faulty data. And that's coming from the federal government. So the Nigerian government, the federal government that is saying that what the U.S. lawmakers are working with, remember the United States have stated, or some lawmakers have stated, Ted Cruz particularly, and